Thanks, Drew. Thanks for having me on here tonight. So I started my near life journey from a health perspective and a product, from the product side of things. And I have had phenomenal results on the products since I started. So I started the product and I started it very skeptically. I didn't believe that it would actually do much for me, but I was diagnosed with pneumonia 2 years ago. And my health journey through the years has not been good. I've always been tired, like you said earlier, Drew. I've been sick, tired, and miserable. And when I was diagnosed with pneumonia, a friend of mine said to me, "Shelley, sort yourself out, phone Melissa and get her product." And I thought, really, I've been on every supplement, or not every supplement, but I have been on hundreds of supplements. And I really watch I'm very conscious of what I put into my body, and I'm mindful. So I should be healthy, and nothing ever made a difference. I really was dragging myself through the day. It was affecting my whole family because it took a lot of energy to just get through the day. So I just had no energy. I didn't have the energy to play with my little boy. I didn't want to sit down at the end of the day with my husband and have a glass of wine and a chat. So it was really not a good place to be. And it was becoming my normal. So I'd been for blood tests. Like I said, I was mindful of what I ate. I'd been on diets. Nothing ever made a difference. So it was becoming my normal, which wasn't a happy place to be. But then I had an unexplainable heart attack at the age of 39, which definitely wasn't normal. So when I got the pneumonia and this friend of mine suggested I take the NeoLife, I thought, you know what, I'm at rock bottom. My son and husband had gone off on a family holiday without me because the doctor had said I wasn't allowed to go, and it had all been planned. So off they went. And I was really at rock bottom, and I thought, okay, well, let me just give this a bash, and, what have I got to lose, really? So I took them. And I can tell you something, wow, what a difference these supplements have made to my life. In 3 weeks, I had recovered from pneumonia, and I had been really, really sick. And a month later, I was riding my bike, which exercise was just a no-no for me. Every time I'd get a little spurt of energy, I'd try and go for a run or do some exercise, only to be totally man down for the next few weeks, and I would come down with some form of cold or flu or whatever it was. I was always sick, always sick. To be riding my bike a month later was really that was already like a massive difference to me. But after a week, sorry, I'm going to just go back a little bit. After a week of being home and feeling so much better after these supplements, I packed my car and I went off to Knysna to meet my family. And my husband was like, well, what is this? I had my little packet of supplements and what have you. And I'd actually just signed up. And he said, oh, you've wasted your money again, and this isn't going to work. And he was also very skeptical. And a month later, he came to me and he said to me, you know what? You are not even back to your old self. You are better than I have ever known you. So that was like a massive thing for him to notice what a difference it had made in me. I now have so much more energy. I no longer snap at James at the end of the day when he asks me how my day was. We can actually have a nice little chat about that. And I get to run around with my little boy, and I'm able to do things that I never, ever thought I could do before. I'm mountain biking all the time, regularly. I'm doing races. My energy levels have improved like you can't believe. And I think every day I just get stronger. And from being sick, when I tell you all the time, my friends will even vouch for that. I have had one cold in 2 years, and the cold lasted maybe 2 or 3 days, and it wasn't even, I had a bit of a runny nose. So it has been it's been a huge life change for me. So from the product point of view, I just adore the product, and because it has just changed my whole life, my family life and everything. So of course my family all love the product too, and we've had phenomenal stories with them too. So I won't get into all of that now. But when Melissa said to me, listen, well, why don't you sign up to get better pricing? I was like, geez, hell yeah. That was an absolute no-brainer for me. So, but I did think, why would you want me to do that? So again, a little red flag, and I was a bit skeptical about the business side of things. But once I'd looked into it, I actually thought, and like I said, I was so in love with the product that I wanted to get involved with it. And if I could make a difference in my life, it really excited me that I might be able to help somebody else, because I find that there are a lot of people out there that are suffering with fatigue and just general no energy. So I signed up, and just to get the better prices. But then the business just took over from there, or kind of organically grew from there, and I got into it because, you know, it was really great to talk about a product that I knew worked, and the company had such integrity and they ticked all my boxes. I was actually working for a corporate company at the time, and I was extremely frustrated with the amount of work that I was putting in and the income I was getting out. It just didn't weigh up for me. So I wasn't actually at the time looking for a new business, but when this came along, it made me realize my frustrations even more. And I find with NeoLife, what I put in is what I get out. I can definitely see through my figures when I'm on my back office of when I'm going through a slump and when I'm actually being consistent and being proactive. And I love that. It really drives me. I love the point system because it keeps me going. You want to see those points climbing, and it grabs me. That I love that about the business. It works for me, and you can monitor it all the time. So coming down to where I've got to, so I qualified as a Sapphire Director at the end of May, which has put me into the world team, which is very, very exciting. And how did I get there? I would say consistency is key. It's just doing those little things every single day. And there's a book that we read through this business as well, which just says, you know, the little things, they are so easy to do, but they are so easy not to do as well. So you've just got to make sure you do them. And yeah, I find that has been a big mind shift for me. And the personal growth in this company has made me change the way I work and see things, because it's just little things like that that do make all the difference. So doing them every day brings big results, I found. And then the challenges. Yes, there have definitely been quite a few challenges.
Shelley, I think we've lost your sound.
Okay, there. Where did you lose? Sorry.
Challenges.
Yep. Okay, challenges. So family and friends. You automatically, you think you're going to win over your family and friends. It's going to be easy. And let me tell you something. They are the hardest people to win over. And I found that with all my downlines too. We've all really battled with family and friends. And I mean, my husband was the biggest skeptic out of everybody. And little to me known, he had actually taken my starter pack, and every morning he had gone off and read through the books without me even knowing. And eventually he came around and he said to me, "You're finally onto a really good thing here." But it has been hard with family and friends, and that rejection is really, it's a bitter pill to swallow. So you have to learn to really overcome that and just move forward, because it used to floor me for a couple of days, and then I would phone Melissa and be like, "Oh, this is so hard," you know. But you know what? You move on, and the support you get from this company is incredible, and they really help you with that. And without that, I don't think I would have carried on. Well, maybe I would have, but it would have been even harder. But you do learn to overcome that challenge and that rejection, which for me is a very personal thing. Rejection is probably one of my biggest things. It's something I don't deal with well. So, and I've learned to deal with it, and I'm getting better at it, and that's been amazing for me too. What else have I put here? Then I can actually relate to a certain challenge which happened to me a few months ago. And I had qualified as a director, and I was going along very nicely, and I've got some great downlines, and my one downline, Jill, was heading towards being a director as well under me, which was very exciting. And suddenly she got there, and it happened so quickly, and it took us all by surprise, and it even took her by surprise. And I saw this, and it happened on month end, the day before month end. And I was super excited, and I was so proud of her, and it was a great time. And I was, funny enough, meeting Drew and Melissa the next morning for a presentation. And they had called me and said, listen, can you just meet us a little bit before the presentation? And I got there, and I was all excited, and I was like, can you believe it? And they said, yes, awesome. We just need to let you know that you need to be doing your own personal 4,000 PV, which is going to sound, it's not going to relate to everybody who's new on this call, but the gist of the story was that I hadn't reached my personal points that I should have got to, and I was about to lose out on a whole leg of commission unless I got that. And it was that day that I had to get it. So that we had met at 9 o'clock, I had the rest of the day to try and do this. And I just said, there's no ways, how am I going to do that? But I cannot afford to lose out on that money, on that, that commission. So Melissa just looked at me and she went, Shelley, you can do it. And I was like, you know what? I have to do it. There is no option here. And in a day, I managed to do an extra almost 1,000 points. And no, I didn't buy a whole bunch of stock for myself. I literally phoned as many people as I could, and I got there. And I got to the points that I was meant to get. And my whole reason for telling the story is just, if you put your mind to something, you really can do it. And for me, where I've owned my own businesses, I've worked for people, and you just can't beat this. So I just find in this business, when you do put your mind to something, you really can get to where you want to be. So that was overcoming a huge challenge. And through this business, I've become more financially independent, which makes my husband very happy. And I can contribute to my home. Which is a great feeling of achievement. It's been a great feeling for me, and especially over lockdown. My husband's office was closed for almost 3 months, and it was wonderful to be doing so well in my business and being able to contribute. And then lastly, just my team. I have an incredible team. I've made some really amazing friends. I've reconnected with friends, and I love watching them grow every month. It is very rewarding to see people doing better, and I'm excited for their futures. That means a lot to me that, somewhere along the line, I have actually helped that little bit. Fantastic. So, and going forward, just creating residual income for us one day when we retire. Not that I ever want to retire, but yeah.
Wonderful.